Please help to me reach 1,000 subscribers. Hey everyone, before we start, if you enjoy the stories on my channel, make sure to subscribe. Your support keeps me going and I truly appreciate it. Now let's dive into today's story. I knew from the moment he looked at me that morning that something was wrong. His eyes weren't angry, they were hollow, distant, like he had already stepped out of our relationship in his mind. It wasn't a guess. It was certainty. Someone had told him. Someone had exposed what I'd worked so hard to bury. But the part that haunted me wasn't the guilt, it was the question: how did he find out? I had been so careful, obsessively careful. No messages saved. No photos. No social media crumbs. Nothing. Yet somehow he knew. It started 2 months earlier. My fiancé, Darren, was sent to Chicago for work, leaving me alone in our apartment in Austin. The distance didn't feel romantic or cinematic, it felt suffocating. We FaceTimed every night, but the calls felt rehearsed, like we were reading lines in a play about a couple who was doing fine. And in that lonely stretch of weeks, I did the one thing I should never have done: I reconnected with my ex, Jordan. And no, this isn't one of those stories where I pretend it just happened. I walked straight into it. Eyes open. Heart reckless. He replied to one of my Instagram stories with a harmless line: "Austin still suits you." I should have ignored it. Instead, I typed back, "Hope you're doing well." 3 days later, we were sharing drinks on a rooftop. A week after that, I was in his apartment. It wasn't love, not even close. It was danger, adrenaline, a spark that made me feel alive in a way I hadn't in a long time. With Darren, everything was steady, safe, predictable. He was the man you build a life with. Jordan was the man who made you forget you already had one. The affair lasted 6 weeks. We met only a handful of times. I deleted every message the moment we sent them. We used a burner number that I threw away as soon as I ended things. No photos. No traces. No digital fingerprints. I thought I had covered every angle. When Darren came home from Chicago, ironically just 1 week after I cut things off with Jordan, it was like he returned with a version of himself I didn't recognize. He still hugged me. Still made coffee. Still smiled. But none of it reached his eyes. When he said good night, it sounded like someone imitating his voice. One evening, I asked him if something was wrong. He just looked at me and said, "Why don't you tell me?" I didn't sleep that entire night. That was the moment I knew. Somehow, he already knew. I spent days replaying every detail, searching for the leak. I hadn't told a soul. Jordan would never expose himself. We met in places where no one knew us. I used different routes, even different apps. There was no evidence. But the paranoia ate at me until I did something I had never done before. I checked his phone. He never hid it from me. No passcode. Nothing. That made the guilt stab a little deeper. At first, there was nothing suspicious. No screenshots. No messages. No emails. But then I opened his notes app. There was a folder labeled Truth. Inside it was a list: my name, the dates Jordan and I met, the locations, the times, even things Jordan had said to me. Details I had forgotten myself. And at the bottom was a line that made my stomach twist. Ask Tyler. She didn't tell her mom. She didn't tell friends. Someone else knows. Tyler, Darren's younger brother. 23. Newly single. And suddenly, like a punch to the chest, I remembered Tyler had been at the same rooftop bar the night Jordan and I first met. He must have seen us. Maybe he even took a picture. But if he knew, why wasn't Darren sure? Why was he still searching for proof? Why didn't Tyler just tell him outright? 2 nights later, I broke down and confessed. Everything. No excuses. No justifications. No, it was a mistake. I just told him the truth and begged him to forgive me. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't even blink. He just said the coldest 4 words I've ever heard. I already knew. Goodbye. He walked out that same night with a single bag. Blocked my number. Ignored every message. 2 weeks later, an envelope arrived with official separation papers. We weren't married yet, but we had signed legal agreements when we moved in together, so it counted. He didn't want anything. Not the car. Not the apartment. Not even an apology. Just out. Months later, I ran into Tyler at a grocery store. He looked uncomfortable, like he wanted to disappear behind the nearest shelf. I confronted him. "You told him, didn't you?" He shook his head. "No. I swear I didn't." Then how did he find out? And that's when he told me. "You left your Apple ID logged in on your old iPad. Darren used it to watch Netflix." One of the texts came through. The preview popped up. My heart collapsed. A ghost text from a deleted burner number. A message that should have vanished forever. A device I hadn't touched in years. I wasn't betrayed by a person. I was betrayed by an old iPad I forgot even existed. And Darren? He didn't confront me because he was waiting. Waiting for me to admit it. Waiting for me to choose honesty before he walked away. But I didn't. So in the end, I didn't just lose him because I cheated. I lost him because I lied. And because the truth never really disappears, even when you think you erased every trace.